What is up, salubrious strangers?
Oh, geez. Now I need to Google it.
It means favorable to or promoting health and well-being, essentially healthful or wholesome.
Okay, great.
And our listeners are very wholesome.
Yes, they are.
I forgot my regular glasses today. So
he's like squinting with one eye closed.
Taking my glasses off. Hey, welcome to the show. If you've never been here before, Krista.
I'm Krista.
Yeah, but if you've never been here before, if you want to skip this, everybody knows by now.
We're off to a banging start.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be one of those
There's going to be like 20 minutes of chit-chat and a taste test and housekeeping. If you don't want to hear it, check the show notes. We'll post the timestamp of the topic start.
Yeah, good 20 minutes of shooting the shiz.
The shiz.
Yep. I'm Kurt. Hi.
I'm
Welcome
Krista.
to our show.
Hi.
Shout-outs? Nobody. Nobody
Surprising.
joined. Yeah.
You know, I looked at Podbean, though, and we had like 4.6 thousand downloads last month. So it's like people still listen.
Yeah. But
we still get new subscribers on YouTube. Yeah. It's weird, but the listens on our episodes are
used to
so
have
down.
like people, like multiple people every week, and now it's just kind of slowed down.
Yeah.
I'm just.
We're chopped liver.
We are. Yeah, we're old news. We're ridden hard and hung up wet. Or
wow.
However that saying goes.
Gross.
Yeah, I think we're off today. This is going to be a
humdinger.
This is going to be a banger of an episode.
Yeah, if this is your first time listening, please hit pause and find another episode.
Or another podcast.
Yeah, one of those.
Whatever you want. Yeah, shout outs. We got nobody. Housekeeping, do you have any?
Oh, the 27th. We should talk about that.
Yeah. One thing I want to say that I've actually been... No, we didn't talk about the weather. It's just kind of rainy and dreary today.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's supposed to be hot again this week.
Yeah, like 80s.
Sucks.
What the heck?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
Dude, it's the Burr months. Let's do this.
Yep. And, you know...
This is kind of cool, though. We have these cold frames, and there's like all these orange and yellow leaves stuck to it.
That is cool.
It's kind of cool.
But yeah, like working the top floor of the hospital, and I think they turned the air conditioning or the cooler off now, so... I'll be
Are there residents up there?
Yeah, but a lot of them are already cold, even when it's, so I'll be up there sweating.
They don't have air conditioning in their rooms, though?
No.
Ooh.
You can adjust the heat in the rooms, but a majority of them don't get that cold.
I'm sure. Or warm.
That hot, yeah. But I'll be sweating my coin purse off this week. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, I think today it was showing 85, but now it's only showing 80. So I'll take that.
I don't know if I told you this, that I'm Eric Orheim, who listens to the podcast. His wife, Kelly. I'm trying to think what the name of it is. I'm not, but I've been helping her because she's big with the art stuff. And did I talk about this on here? That it was kind of a weird... No, I think I talked about it on the side sessions, that it was kind of a weird synchronicity that I'm doing this with her. Because when I would go to the post office to check our P.O. box, I always go past this one building that I used to go in many years ago to see when Corey was on a basketball team. Like,
this is not ringing a bell.
Okay, and I would always drive past it and be like, I really want to go in there and check the place out. Mm-hmm. So then Eric's wife, Kelly, messaged me and said, hey, this is really out of the blue, but I'm doing like an art / chatting therapy-ish kind of thing where she wants to do like a men's one where men come and we just doodle or do scrapbooking or whatever artistic stuff they want to do and just chat.
Oh.
So we're doing that, and it's in that building that I wanted to go in.
Yeah.
So it was just really kind of a cool synchronicity. So yeah, we haven't had anybody show up, but she's doing one for men and one for women that I said I didn't want to participate in because being a guy, I don't know what their backgrounds might be. They might have, where it's not like we're not therapists by any stretch of the imagination, but you can just come and chat with us.
What craft are you doing, or what?
I'm not going to really do well. Okay, so here's the thing: like I'm not a crafty person at all, and she just kind of wanted me there for the men's group because she said it would be weird not to have a man there too running it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I told her last weekend when we were there, or last week when we were there, that I really need to minimize because I don't want to die and have Corey's going to pitch all my crap anyway. And I have just bins of stuff. I have notes a folder full of notes that friends gave me in high school.
Oh my gosh.
I have a soda can, a Pepsi can that is in there because 20 years ago, my friend Julie and I went for a walk, and it was the middle of winter, and we were sharing a Pepsi, passing it back and forth, and it like froze in our hands. And I always had a crush on Julie. So,
was it open?
Yeah, we were just drinking.
So you just had
we
the
were
empty
drinking
can.
out of it, passing back and forth,
Gotcha.
and then it was freezing. We were trying to drink it quicker because it was actually freezing in our hands.
Wow.
And so I kept that because it reminds me of her. So
Yeah.
it's like, why is there a random soda can? So I just need to start
You're
tossing
very
stuff.
sentimental, it sounds
Yeah,
like.
I need to start tossing stuff out. I have an old streamer from Rhonda's graduation party.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So just random stuff like that. Like
You should take pictures of
really
it.
Weirdly sentimental. Yeah.
And make a scrapbook out of it.
That's what we were saying, is that she does really cool retro scrapbooks, like retro looking scrapbooks.
Yeah.
And I said, maybe I'll take a note from each person that sent me one, and we'll put it in a scrapbook, and then it can go on a bookshelf.
And then everything can go. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Everything can go, because I need to minimize. So that's, but then I think I'm popping in there tomorrow because she's doing a teens one, and a lot of them might know me from Washington, and you kind of need somebody to monitor them because they're going to be probably run around the hallways and stuff. So that's what I've been doing.
That's
and it's
fun.
it's actually nice. It gets me out,
Yeah.
out of my apartment.
Yeah.
So yeah. But another thing that I wanted to talk about in housekeeping is a roadmap for the rest of the season.
Okay.
So you can't record
The 27th.
the 27th. Mm-hmm. You could, but
we
have to be
could,
done.
but we'd have to be.
Yeah.
We'd have to start. We'd have to be sitting down recording at 6:30 probably.
So I'll stitch 2 old side sessions together again.
Okay.
And we'll just have a week off for that one.
That's fine.
Okay.
And then the investigation's not happening anymore.
No, our investigation's not happening
I actually
anymore.
have a free weekend. Which we're not super bummed about, honestly. It was just going
Was
to
that
be
the
me, you,
weekend
and
that
Jim.
you're going to have Mark
27th.
and Rhonda?
No, they're coming
The
next
20.
week.
Okay. Yeah, because I got to work. But yeah, so the next episode will be a stitch together old 2 side sessions. And then after that is going to be a researched episode. I'm thinking it's going to be about Nazis and the occult
Oh,
with
the
the
occult,
Nazis
yeah.
and their
Some
supposed
interesting
base in
stuff there.
Antarctica and stuff about like Antarctica.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be that. And then the one after that will be the weekend before Halloween. So I think maybe that one will just do spooky stories.
Yeah, I like
find
it.
online, like
Okay.
Reddit stories, because that'll be good for Halloween. And then that leaves November. And I think we'll have 2 researched ones in November, and then the first one in December will be the season finale with Corey.
Okay.
Does that sound
Sounds good.
okay?
Wow, we're closing in on the end
And
of the season.
we're getting down to towards the end of the trivia. I think
Yeah.
today you'll bring it to question 44. So I think we're going to have the next new episode. We'll have 4. And then in the one after that, I'm going to have 2 very difficult ones, because that's what they do in the KVSC one.
The
Is the
last
last
ones are
questions
really
are
hard.
very difficult.
Okay.
And then towards either the second last episode of the season or the last one, we'll announce who won. But what I think we'll do is one of those 2 episodes, we'll do the episode, and then we'll stay after and record an episode where we just answer the questions, the trivia questions. It'll be a mini episode that we'll release the weekend right after we release that episode.
Okay.
I got it all planned out up here.
Good, because you know that meme with the person and all the formulas floating around in
Yep.
front of them? That's me right
Yeah.
now. So what's the date of what is our last recording day?
I'm guessing it's going to be.
Wow.
Oh, that was my
Dang.
McGurgling in
Chiming
my
in.
stomach.
McGurgling.
Yeah. So the 27th we're not recording. The 11th will be researched episode, October 11th.
Okay.
October 25th will be the spooky stories episode.
Yep. November 8th.
November 8th will be a research. November 22nd will be a research, and then December 6th will be the final.
Okay, so that'll be when we do all the questions with Corey.
No, we'll do
that'll
all the
be the
questions.
alleged Christmas one.
We'll do all the answer the questions like the episode before that one, but it's not going to be in that episode. We're going to stay after and record.
Okay, yeah.
And then I'll release
On the
that
22nd then?
I think so.
Okay.
So I'll release that the weekend after and just be like, hey, if this is just answering trivia questions, so this isn't an actual episode, but if you want to hear us talk.
Oh, I meant like our season finale or Christmas episode.
Christmas episode will be answering listener questions. They'll
So
send them-
recording that the 6th too then?
Yes.
So we'll have a regular episode and the
Yes.
Christmas episode.
Yes.
So that'll be a
that might
long
be a
day.
lengthy one.
Okay, that's fine. And then we're done until we decide to
January
come
or
back.
February.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And
Wow, we are definitely closing in.
yeah, and then whoever wins the trivia contest get to pick the season
Opener?
whatever they want to talk about, we will talk about, as long as it's not very adult. You want to do, if you
Or
really...
like
No, if they want to do... No, I'm just going to say anything.
nothing super controversial. I don't want to go outside of our lines of...
I don't know what they would do that would be like if they do
you never
COVID.
know.
I like COVID would be a good, like at that point I don't care because we're just about done anyway with the podcast.
I just don't want to like...
If they want to do Stephen Avery, I'll do it.
Oh, that's fine.
You know?
Yeah. Stuff like that. I don't consider that really controversial.
If you wanna
I'm
do-
saying let's stay away from politics. Let's stay away from anything that people are going to get like all
Yeah.
worked up over.
But other than that, if you want the history of Q-tips, we'll do it.
Yeah.
You know, Q-tip trivia.
Ooh, like Q-Tip from Tribe Called Quest?
No, I don't know who that is.
What?
No,
Oh,
never
Kurt.
heard it.
He's a
But yeah,
rapper.
so that's the roadmap we got coming up.
Cool.
Any other housekeeping?
I
I believe I had
it.
a listener story that I totally forgot
Oh, you
to
did?
look up. So that'll
Dude,
be-
where is it?
Yeah,
Do you have
I
time to
don't-
look it up
No,
right
I
now?
don't. I don't know where it is because the people, we get them in like all these different places.
Well, whoever you are,
We'll get to it.
why don't you forward it again so that we have it fresh
Yeah,
somewhere?
if you did not hear your story on there, send it to us. Yeah, I'll get it again. We just have too many places to.
Yeah, we have
send
a lot of
stuff
email
to.
addresses.
We do.
Shoot, what was I just gonna? I thought of something and then I forgot. Oh, you know, Pink. We call him Pink. I don't know what his actual name is. The Pink Flamingo recording guy from UK.
Yeah.
We have to figure that out because he's gonna be in the States in October, and he wanted to meet
Get
up with
together.
us,
Yeah.
and possibly come on the show.
Would he be in this area?
I think he'd drive over here.
Really?
He said if October doesn't work, he said he'll be back in January, but we're not going to be recording then.
No, but we could get together to record
Yeah, we
with
could.
him, and then that could be like a second episode of the season.
Let's see. Let me look at his message really quick. He's probably listening.
Hey, Pink. When you say Pink, I always think of...
That's kind of
Dazed
why I
Dazed
call
and
him that.
Confused.
Yeah. That's borderline why I call him that. But Pink Flamingo Recording, or I forget what the actual name of his Haunted UK podcast is. The name of his podcast.
I didn't put my phone on silent.
He's so sweet though. He said his show literally started because of listening to us.
Yay. Yeah, because people hear us and they're like, God, if they can do it, I
geez.
can do it.
Yeah, he'll be in the States between October 4th and 10th. That's not going to work. We're recording on the 11th.
Yeah, but we can get together. I mean,
October 4th. So my mom and I are going to Door County that day.
okay.
And then he's leaving that following Friday. So it would have to be like during the week. I think we could meet him. I don't know that we can get an episode in though.
Yeah.
That might be the hard part.
But
and
I'm
then
done. I'm done at 3. I could be here.
Oh, he said otherwise he'll be back from December 20th to the 3rd of January.
Well, let's do, because we can get together and just record an episode that we will release in the next season.
Yeah, so should we plan on the December
Yeah.
time that he's here?
Unless we want to meet up with him when he's here that first time, and then he comes here to record the next time.
Sorry, I'm looking at the calendar now.
I'm trying to think if we have any other housekeeping.
I feel like the December one, that's like 2 full weeks that we could
Yeah,
figure that out.
Yeah. Plus,
rather than less
we're
than
not on a
week.
schedule. We can just get together and record
Yeah.
and save that episode for next season, for maybe the second
So
episode.
should we shoot for the December
Yeah.
to January date?
Yep.
Okay.
Cool beans.
He's probably listening, but I will reach out to him
Yeah.
also and let him know, like, let's actually pick a date now.
Yeah.
I don't think the October is going to work. It's just like such a short time frame.
Yeah. Ready for the taste test?
Yeah, I think that's all we have left.
I don't know what this
Oh,
is.
shoot. I just said we have this card from Sherry that I need
And
to,
we both forgot it. Thank you, Sherry.
I got to take a picture.
Sherry, thank you for the Christmas pickles.
Yeah, Kurt was super
Oh my
jazzed
God,
about
I
those
love the Christmas pickles.
Okay.
You would not think that pickles that taste like cinnamon, like Red Hot, would be good, but they are.
Yeah. Well, they're not cucumbers. It's
No,
zucchini.
it's zucchini.
All right, so she sent this card. It's green, and she drew a Bigfoot on the back.
Yeah, really
which
good
is
Bigfoot.
Hilarious. And it says, advice from Bigfoot. No judge people by size, ... or looks. Every journey begins with a single big step.
It does.
My favorite. When life gets hairy, remember, hairy not so bad.
I like that.
You can run and you can hide. Always put best foot forward. Stay busy, no drag feet. No talk to strangers. Strangers bad unless you're Kurt or Krista. Or Krista or Kurt. Be self. Self always good.
I love that.
Yeah, that's cute. Oh, shoot. I just ripped right. I'll have to tape that back together.
Ripped right through Bigfoot.
I wasn't as careful as I should have been. I split his head right in half. Life is more beautiful because you're in it.
Oh, that's cute.
Sweet. Krista and Kurt, thank you so much for the Strange Sessions cap. I really need it right now to cover my chemo bald head.
Aww.
I will put it to good use for the next year. Love you both. Keep it strange, Sherry.
Love you too, Sherry.
Oh, she has a before and after photo.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah, she's going
the before is frowny and the after is happy.
She's going through chemo and her hair is totally falling out now.
Love you, Sherry.
Yeah, we love you.
Sending you a hug. And thank you again
Very
for the
sweet.
Christmas pickles. That's I go in before bed when I need a little bit of a snack and just grab a couple of those.
Do you?
Yes.
Nice. It's your before bed snack.
Taste
All right,
test?
taste test? Yeah.
Oh, no, this will be good.
So it's the same type of thing we
It's a
got
potato
last
chip.
time, but
It's a potato chip.
Roast beef.
Roast beef potato chip.
I think it's those crunchy things again.
Yes. Oh.
Yeah, it's the same little.
Okay.
Look, it's the little hand.
And then we have a taste test that I brought.
Okay. We'll wash it down with what you
Yes,
got.
because I saw this in the Amish store when I was there the other day.
Nice.
Yep.
There's always good stuff in Amish stores.
Oh my God, the Amish stores around here have the best stuff.
All right, taking a picture. It's another Minecraft themed.
I'm excited to try this.
Could go either way. I'm doing a sniff
That
test.
was,
They have like a brown tint to them this
I'm
time.
excited.
Whoops. Camera's upside down. That's not
It's
gonna
more
work.
of a crisp than it is a chip.
Yeah, I agree.
It cost $1.25 pounds.
Oh. What is that in US dollar?
Probably around $2.
Okay. It smells very savory.
Oh, it smells good.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Wow. Oh, wow. It's very corny, but I get the roast beef.
It's very good. Mm-hmm. There's something other than roast beef, though, and I can't put my finger on what it is. Maybe it's the savoriness you're talking about, but there's a something else there.
You get it right at the front. The roast beef flavor is like right at the front, and then the corn flavor comes through after that.
The beef seasoning.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I really like these. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's really good.
I'm going to give it a 10.
What?
A 10.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 10 too.
Everything out of this
I'm not mad
box you
about
gave
that.
us was a 10.
Yeah, those cookies were so good.
Oh, wow. I like these.
The last cookies, like the sandwich ones,
They're not overwhelmingly
beefy.
seasoned. Yeah.
No, they're good.
They're really
I
good.
love that the sweet kind of corn flavor comes
Yeah.
through at the end, and it
Yep.
tastes like real corn.
Yes.
Doesn't taste like a corn chip. It tastes like corn.
Those are amazing.
Yeah, I agree. Thank
and
you.
ready for this?
I am.
Yeah, thank you so much for sending the stuff from England.
So cool.
I love England. I have England in my heart. This is in honor of the season.
Okay. It is pumpkin spice.
Soda.
Reading Draft is the brand.
Reading, I believe.
Oh,
Because I think
Reading?
that's Reading, Pennsylvania.
Oh. Well, they spell Reading weird.
I dated a girl from right over there, so.
Of course you did.
Of course you did. Yeah, like I'm such a player. I've had like maybe
I
four
should take
girlfriends in my life. Like
It's just
you make
they're
it sound like I
never
have a
from
girl in
around
every
here, though.
state.
That's
I have
the
a
funny
girl.
thing. Not many of them are from around here. I feel like there's
No,
somebody
that's
in
because I come across better over long distances.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, let's take a picture of this. I'm so far from the mic right now. Okay. Is this a twisty, do you think?
No.
No. Ow.
I need,
It could be, and I'm just a baby.
I need to pull out my multi-tool.
I got baby hands.
Baby hands.
I got my Lucy mug.
Lucy. She's never happy to see me.
No, she just hates you. She growls and hides behind you. Oh, chair. Oh, that's an interesting face. Doesn't really smell like much. Okay. It smells almost cream soda-y.
It did smell cream soda-y.
Let's see.
Oh, it does smell good.
It smells like
It smells
cream
very
soda.
cream soda.
Interesting.
I don't really get pumpkin spice. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
I get cream soda.
Yeah, I don't get pumpkin spice from this.
I don't get... Yeah, if you gave me this, I would not think pumpkin spice.
I think it was cream soda with a little something going on,
Yeah.
but not pumpkin spice.
It's good,
It's good.
but yeah, if we hand this to somebody and said, what does this taste like? I don't think anybody would say pumpkin spice.
I agree.
I think they would say cream soda.
I'm going to give it a 7 because it's good, but it's not what as advertised in my opinion.
I'm going to give it an 8.
Okay.
It's not bad,
It's fair.
but it's good. It's not bad, but it's not bad, but it's not what you think it's going to
Right.
be.
I agree.
It is really good, though. I wonder if there's actual sugar in there.
I feel for the Amish aren't
Yes,
really
cane
for
sugar.
selling like artificial stuff.
No, cane sugar, pumpkin juice.
Pumpkin juice.
I don't know.
Somebody juiced a
I
pumpkin.
guess if you squeeze a pumpkin enough, you get pumpkin juice. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway,
I don't know why I found that so funny. It's because I'm tired.
Anyway, I want to do my usual apology for this episode because I don't think it's very good. I'm going to be reading a lot. And
Okay.
I'm trying to get away from that. But in this first half is going to be nothing but that because it's all reading. So we'll talk about it.
Okay.
We'll take a break and just say whatever we think about it.
Hey, quick question. What are
Yeah.
you doing for side sessions this week?
I don't
Next
know.
week. We'll have to
It'll be
figure that out.
it'll be a research one.
Okay.
I'll find something.
Gotcha.
I feel like they're so short now though because we only have
They
like
never were longer than 45 minutes,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah. So this is our listener suggestions episode. I have something made a noise down here. I have 2 stories, and if we have time, which I don't think we're going to do, I have those 3 funky Reddit stories that I always talk about.
Okay.
Maybe we'll just shoehorn those in just to get those done with because I love those stories. But the first part of this episode is going to be, and I don't remember who suggested it now.
On the Facebook page?
Yeah, it was on the Facebook page, but they talked about the dead internet theory.
There's a lot of equipment just
A lot,
clicking
yeah,
and
a lot of stuff
clunking down
making
here.
noise down here. It is about the dead internet theory. It's not
I never heard of this, by
it's
the
not
way.
paranormal or anything like that, but it's it kind of goes along with
Kind
our
of a
episode about
conspiracy?
AI. No,
No,
not really.
not
Well, a
really?
little bit, but not really.
Okay.
But it kind of goes along with our episodes about like AI and all that stuff.
Okay.
All this first part comes from a website called the New Space Economy from an article called An Investigation into the Dead Internet Theory. You ready?
I'm ready.
Here we go. There is a growing, persistent feeling among... I already screwed it up. There is a growing, persistent feeling among many longtime internet users that something has gone wrong. The digital world, once a sprawling frontier of human connection and quirky creativity, now often feels sterile, repetitive, and strangely empty. Conversations seem to run in circles, comment sections are filled with generic platitudes, and the same content appears again and again, repackaged and replayed across countless platforms. This uncanny sense of digital deja vu has given rise to a sprawling online narrative known as the dead internet theory. At its core, the theory asserts that the internet, as a space for genuine human interaction, effectively died sometime around 2016 or 2017. In its place, a synthetic artificial version has been constructed, one where the vast majority of online activity is no longer driven by people, but by automated programs or bots and content generated by artificial intelligence. Proponents argue that what appears to be a bustling digital metropolis of billions of users is, in reality, more of a ghost town with AI-generated content and bot interactions creating the illusion of life. What do you think so far?
I'm not sure I'm on enough to judge.
Yeah.
Like I'm on Instagram and I'm on Facebook, but I feel like I only tend to interact with people I actually know.
Yeah. Yep.
And I know they're not bots,
Yeah.
but I'm not on TikTok. I'm not,
Yeah.
I can absolutely see how it's a possibility.
Totally. It is. It's very accurate. The central premise is built upon two foundational pillars. The first is the observation that organic human activity has become systematically displaced by bot traffic and AI-generated content, all of which is curated and amplified by powerful algorithms. The second pillar elevates this observation into a full-blown conspiracy. This transformation is not an accident or an emergent property of technological advancement. Instead, it is the result of a coordinated and intentional effort by powerful entities such as corporations or government agencies to control online discourse, manipulate consumers, and ultimately manage the perceptions of the human population. The goal, according to this theory, is to create a highly controlled digital environment where genuine human expression is minimized and algorithmically approved narratives dominate.
I just watched a video about something almost exactly like this
Yeah.
yesterday about how those people
Yeah.
are controlling what we see
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
create chaos
Yes.
and
Yeah.
put us all
Yeah.
against each other.
Yep. And we're going to go a lot
And I
into
can
that.
absolutely see that.
100%. I'm bumping mine up to a 9. I really like that. I got a little pumpkin
I'll
juice.
take another
I got a
sip.
little pumpkin juice in that
Freshly squeezed
one. Freshly,
pumpkin.
I love a cold glass of freshly squeezed pumpkin
I
juice.
can kind of smell it just a little bit. The spice. Sorry.
What do you think? Still nothing.
I mean, it's good.
Okay. The precise origin of the dead internet theory is difficult to pinpoint as its core ideas bubbled up from various corners of the web for years. Its crystallization into a named concept can be traced to online communities known for esoteric discussions. Forums like WizardChan were early incubators for these sentiments, but the theory gained its name and a coherent manifesto in a 2021 post on a forum called Agora Roads Macintosh Cafe. A user writing under the pseudonym Illuminati Pirate published a post titled, quote, Dead Internet Theory. Most of the internet is fake, which synthesized earlier discussions and articulated the feelings of a hollowed-out web. The author complained that the once vibrant communities like 4chan no longer felt original and made the startling claim that many of the events and people seen online, including politicians and celebrities, were wholly fictional creations of CGI and deepfakes. The post captured a pervasive sense of loss, concluding with a simple haunting observation that, quote, the internet feels empty and devoid of people. For a time, this theory remained a curiosity of the internet's subcultural fringe. That changed when the idea began to seep into more mainstream channels. A pivotal moment came in September 2021 with the publication of an article in The Atlantic magazine titled, quote, Maybe you missed it, but the internet died 5 years ago, end quote. While not a full-throated endorsement of the conspiracy, the article took the theory's underlying anxieties seriously, acknowledging the influence of bots and algorithms on the modern online experience. It served as a bridge carrying the concept from obscure to a much wider, more mainstream audience. The theory's journey towards plausibility was dramatically accelerated in late 2022 with the release of what?
The UFO stuff?
No.
Oh.
ChatGPT.
Oh. And that probably wasn't even 2022.
Yeah, no, ChatGPT, a powerful generative AI developed by OpenAI. Suddenly, the ability to create sophisticated human-like text was no longer the exclusive domain of tech-literate organizations. It was now available to anyone with a web browser. This leap made the core tenets of the dead internet theory seem far more realistic to journalists and the general public. The idea of an internet flooded with AI-generated content was no longer a sci-fi premise. It was present and rapidly escalating now into reality. Mm-hmm. The enduring power of the dead internet theory may have less to do with whatever it is. The enduring power of the dead internet theory may have less to do with whatever it is, a literal, provable conspiracy, but more with its function as a powerful cultural narrative. It can be seen as a modern type of creepypasta, a horror story born of the internet that gives a name and a structure to a collection of very real and disquieting online phenomena. The theory's most ambitious claims, such as a centrally coordinated government plot to replace the internet, lack verifiable proof and are rightly classified as being conspiratorial. Yet the theory continues to gain traction because its observations, the measurable increase in bot traffic, the explosion of AI-generated content, the opaque influence of algorithmic curation are not only real but are experienced by us users every day. The theory's origin in a feeling of emptiness highlights its role as a validation for a widely shared subjective experience. It provides a coherent, if paranoid, explanation for the sense that the internet has fundamentally changed for the worse, transforming from a place of connection into an uncanny valley of artificiality. I really like that quote.
Yeah.
I really like that.
It's actually really scary.
It is. The single most cited piece of evidence for the dead internet theory comes from a 2016 report by the cybersecurity firm Imperva. I think that's how it's pronounced. After analyzing over 16.7 billion visits across 100,000 domains, the firm came to a startling conclusion. Automated programs, or bots, were responsible for 52% of all web traffic. For the first time, non-human traffic had surpassed human web traffic. I know, that's crazy.
Probably just consuming information to
AI
regurgitate.
Yeah. The statistic became the bedrock of the theory, a simple, powerful number that seemed to confirm the worst fears of users who felt they were being drowned out by machines. Subsequent reports have shown this was not an anomaly. Imperva's analysis for 2023 found that the automated traffic had risen, while a 2024 report noted that for the first time in years, bots once again made up a bigger proportion of global internet traffic than humans. The data consistently shows a world where roughly half of all online activity is generated now by non-human sources.
Weird.
Yeah. This headline figure requires important context. Not all bots are malicious or contribute to the degradation of the internet. A significant portion of this automated traffic consists of, quote, good bots, which are essential for the functioning of the modern World Wide Web. These include the web crawlers and spiders deployed by search engines like Google to index websites, making them discoverable. Without these bots, the internet as a navigationable library of information would cease to exist. Other good bots perform useful functions like monitoring website health, or powering customer service chatbots. The concern and the element that fuels the dead internet theory, though, lies in the rapid growth of, quote, bad bots. These are the automated programs designed for nefarious purposes, such as perpetuating click fraud, stealing data, spreading spam, and disseminating disinformation. According to a 2024 Imperva report, these bad bots now accounted for 32% of all internet traffic, a 5% increase from the previous year. So the bad bots are going up.
You see them in the comment sections.
Oh, yeah. This means that nearly a third of the internet's activity is not just automated, but is now actively malicious. So that's frightening.
It is.
I'm going to skip that word. Ambiguity of the top line statistic that, quote, bots are now a majority of the internet traffic makes it a powerful narrative tool. Its simplicity is both its strength and its weakness, allowing it to be interpreted in ways that support opposing viewpoints. A proponent of the dead internet theory can point to the 52% figure as proof that the internet is now a hollowed out shell, an artificial construct run by machines. A critic, on the other hand, can highlight the distinction between good and bad bots to argue that the theory is a gross exaggeration, conflating necessary infrastructure with a malicious takeover. This dynamic reveals a deeper truth about the modern information ecosystem. In an environment of low digital trust, even objective data points become contested territory. The debate is less about the number itself and more about what it signifies. The battle over the meaning of bot traffic serves as a perfect microcosm of the theory's central themes, a world where it's increasingly difficult to distinguish the real from the artificial, and where even facts are now subject to manipulation and interpretation. If bot traffic data from the mid-2010s, what would you call that? 2010s? Yeah. Mm-hmm. If bot traffic data from the mid-2010s laid the foundation for the dead internet theory, the public release of large language models, or LLMs, in the early 2020s provided the catalyst that made it feel imminently real. The launch of OpenAI's ChatGPT in late 2022 was an inflection point. It democratized, a lot of big words in this, holy cow. It democratized the ability to generate sophisticated human-like text on an unprecedented scale. Before this, the creation of convincing synthetic content was largely only confined to well-funded corporations, government agencies, or highly skilled individuals. ChatGPT and subsequent models put that power in the hands of any average internet user. Mm-hmm. And it's true. Like, people are like writing books now, having ChatGPT write books that they're selling on Amazon. You know, it's just, now that anybody can...
You don't need any actual talent anymore.
No, now that anybody can create this stuff. Yeah. This technological leap caused widespread concern that the internet would become saturated with AI-generated content, drowning out what little organic human content remained. The theory was no longer just about bots clicking on links or posting spam comments. It was now about AI creating the articles, the stories, the social media posts, and the comments itself. So that's crazy.
That's wild.
This concern was amplified by startling predictions from experts in the field. In 2022, before ChatGPT's full impact was even felt, Timothy Shoup of the Copenhagen Institute for Future Studies offered a bleak forecast. He predicted that in a scenario where a powerful LLM like GPT-3, quote, gets loose, the internet would become completely unrecognizable. He estimated that by 2025 to 2030, between 99% and 99.9% of all content online could be generated by AI. This and similar predictions reframed the death of the internet not as a singular event that happened in the past, but as an ongoing and now perhaps inevitable process of replacement. The theory shifted from a retrospective diagnosis to a forward-looking philosophy. Yeah.
Doesn't it just make you not want to go on the internet?
It really does. It really does. The infrastructure for an AI-dominated internet was already in place long before ChatGPT or any of that came out. For years, the web has been home to content farms or content mills, organizations dedicated to producing enormous volumes of low-quality web content. Their primary goal has never been to inform or entertain, just to master the art of search engine optimization, designing articles specifically to rank highly in search results and attract as many page views as possible to generate advertising revenue. And that's where a lot of the problem, like, there's so many, you know, like I was listening to the MASH Matters podcast, and they were on there talking about these really crappy YouTube videos that are obviously AI created, where that says, what actor did this character hate the most on MASH? And you'd click on it, and it's not even talking about what it says it's going to, and it's just getting clicks. That's all it's doing, is getting clicks.
Yeah, I run across a lot of stuff like that too.
Yep. Historically, these content farms operated by employing large numbers of freelance writers, often in countries with lower labor costs, who were paid meager amounts to churn out thousands of articles on any topic that was trending. The quality was secondary to the quantity. The rise of generative AI revolutionized this business model. Content farms began to replace their human writers with AI writers, which could produce hundreds or even thousands of articles a day with minimal human oversight and at a fraction of the cost. A 2023 report from the anti-misinformation organization NewsGuard identified over 140 internationally recognized brands that were inadvertently supporting these AI-driven content farms by placing ads on their sites. Generative AI did not create the problem of low-quality, profit-driven content. It simply provided a powerful, cheap, and infinitely scalable fuel source for a pre-existing system. The economic incentives of the attention economy had already built the infrastructure for a web that prioritized quantity over quality. AI was merely the catalyst that accelerated this trend to its logical extreme. The flood of what is now called, quote, AI slop is not a new phenomenon, but an extreme amplification of an old one. The production of synthetic content has introduced a novel and deeply concerning problem known as, quote, AI cannibalism or, quote, model collapse. Large language models are trained on vast data sets of text and images scraped from the internet. As the internet becomes increasingly polluted with AI-generated content, these models begin to train on their own false synthetic output. So, yeah, they're creating this crappy AI stuff, and then other AIs are going in and incorporating that into their knowledge base. You know,
It's like a really terrible game of telephone.
They are, in effect, consuming themselves. Over time, this process creates a degenerative feedback loop. The models are now learning from flawed, biased, or factually incorrect information that was itself generated by an AI, leading to a steady and potentially irreversible decline in the quality and reliability of their output. Each new generation of AI becomes a paler, more distorted reflection of the last, threatening to lock the internet in a spiral of informational decay. It's really scary when you think about this stuff.
But I don't think people are any different because people hear stuff or see stuff online that they just believe that's not true, and then they spread it. And I don't know. In ways we're not any better than AI.
No. One of the most potent symbols of this is the phenomenon of shrimp Jesus. And that was in the teaser picture.
Okay.
In 2024, Facebook was flooded with a series of surreal AI-generated images depicting a Christ-like figure fused with shrimp and other crustaceans, often accompanied by flight attendants, soldiers, or kittens. These nonsensical images went viral, racking up thousands, sometimes in the tens of thousands of likes and shares.
I've never even heard of
this. The comment sections were even stranger, filled with hundreds or thousands of nearly identical comments, such as "Amen," posted by what were clearly bot accounts. Shrimp Jesus became the perfect mascot for the theory. Meaningless content created by an AI, amplified by a botnet, and rewarded by an engagement-driven algorithm that could not distinguish between genuine human interest and automated activity. It was a vivid demonstration of a system that prioritizes engagement above all else, even coherence.
Yeah.
A more technical and perhaps more chilling example comes from YouTube. At one point, the problem of fake views generated by bots became so severe that some engineers at the company began to fear a scenario that they termed, quote, the inversion. They were concerned that bot traffic was becoming so prevalent that their algorithms for detecting fake views might begin to treat the fake activity as the normal default behavior. In such a scenario, the algorithm would flip and it would start misclassifying real organic human views as being fake.
Oh, geez.
The inversion represents the ultimate fear at the heart of the dead internet theory, a digital world where the artificial becomes the baseline and authentic human behavior is treated as the outlier.
Oh, no, maybe that's why our views went down.
Maybe that is, or because we suck.
Or probably
because we suck. One of the two. The use of automated systems extends well beyond surreal art and view counts into more malicious territory. Coordinated botnets have become a staple of modern political disinformation campaigns. During the 2016 presidential election and in many subsequent political events around the world, networks of bots were used to post and amplify similar messages, creating the illusion of widespread grassroots support for a particular candidate or viewpoint. These operations are designed to manipulate public discourse, drown out dissenting opinions, and skew the perceptions of public sentiment. Mm-hmm. To me, this is one of the most frightening aspects of it, is the political.
Oh my gosh!
How it's used that, you know. I think we get into this a little bit later in another article, but it's scary as hell. It really is.
The video that I watched yesterday, the basic premise of that was that we're all only being exposed to the most extreme version of either side of the political.
Yep.
And so in it's trying to make you think that this is what the other side is like.
Yeah.
They're all scary and extreme when that's not true. That's like a handful of people.
As you can see in today's world, that's what's happening, is that everybody is viewing the other side as extreme.
And it's being fueled by what we're being exposed to online, which is not the real thing.
No.
Chances are that person on the other side wants all this and cares about the same things you do, but you don't see that online
and
because it's not
TikTok
profitable.
And you view and you start viewing a couple extreme viewpoints, TikTok's going to be showing you more of that, and it's just like a cycle that feeds on itself. And then that makes you think
that that's what exists out there, and the majority of people are not like that.
No.
The majority of people are normal people like us.
It's frightening. It really is.
It's very frightening.
The increasing sophistication of AI has also been weaponized in more personal and predatory ways. A growing number of online dating sites like Tinder and Hinge are being inundated with fake profiles used in elaborate romance schemes known as pig butchering. And pig butchering schemes are huge right now, like really, really huge right now. I
don't even know what that is.
That's where this supposedly famous person messages you and then end up asking you for money.
Yeah. It's like catfishing.
It's catfishing.
Why are they calling it pig butchery?
Did you watch that Netflix thing that it's called, I think, Unknown Number or Unknown Caller High School Catfish?
Is it about the couple that was like harassed?
No.
No.
You should watch this because it's crazy.
What's it called?
I'll send you a link later. Speaking of catfishing, I already said that. In these schemes, fraudsters are much worse than the sidesters.
Yeah.
Fraudsters use AI to generate highly realistic photos and convincing personal biographies to create attractive fake personas. They then use these profiles to lure victims into building what feels like a genuine emotional connection before manipulating them into sending large sums of money, often in the form of cryptocurrency. This represents
I wouldn't even know how to get cryptocurrency.
I don't either. To be honest with you, I don't either. This represents.
I don't really even understand it.
That's
if
like
I'm being honest.
The ones I like when I get the text messages saying that there's a warrant out for my arrest.
Oh yeah,
and that
you didn't pay that,
and that I can pay it off in iTunes gift cards. And here's the thing: if there really is a warrant for your arrest, you're not going to be able to pay it off in iTunes gift cards.
I keep getting the one about I didn't pay that toll.
Oh yeah, I get that one too.
This is Wisconsin. We don't have tolls. What are you talking about?
Exactly. I always laugh at that too because I'm like, we don't have toll roads here. This represents a deeply personal violation where the tools of the dead internet are used to exploit the most human of desires for connection and trust. Let's see here.
So people are using bots to do that?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Every time a user opens an app like TikTok, scrolls through their Instagram feed, or performs a Google search, they are interacting with an algorithmic curator. In simple terms, algorithmic curation is a process by which automated systems select, organize, and present information to users. Given the sheer volume of content available online, it is impossible for any human to sift through it all. Algorithms act as digital editors, making decisions about what we see and about what remains hidden. They analyze our past behavior, what we've liked, shared, watched, and searched for, to predict what we are most likely to engage with in the future. I told you I bought that Gilmore Girls cap that just showed up as an advertisement on Facebook. Now, because I ordered that, everything on Facebook is Gilmore Girls related. Like every single ad I get is Gilmore Girls related, which isn't a bad thing, but it's scary.
I Googled something. And then I was playing a game that I have on my phone, and one of the ads that came up was that thing that I Googled, and I'd never seen it on that game before. And that gets back
into our electronic surveillance episode, which is, we may have to have an update on that one next season. While the intended purpose of this algorithm is personalization and convenience, it has significant psychological and social consequences. One of the most well-documented efforts is the creation of filter bubbles. By consistently showing us content that aligns with our past preference, algorithms can inadvertently isolate us from differing viewpoints and new ideas.
Wow, yep.
If a user primarily interacts with one type of political content, the algorithm will serve them more of the same, reinforcing their existing beliefs and making it less likely that they will encounter opposing arguments. And this right here is Reddit. This leads to the formation of, quote, echo chambers, digital spaces where our own perspectives are reflected back at us, creating a distorted view of the world and exacerbating social and political polarization.
Yeah, 100%.
That's just what you were saying. That's just what you were saying.
Or if you have this weird habit of always watching videos about the opposite viewpoint,
Yep.
that's all you're going to get too.
Yeah. Yep.
But the only extreme versions of it.
Yeah. In his book, Filter World, author Kyle Shaka describes an environment where a cultural consumption. Wow, that's hard to say.
Cultural consumption?
Yes. Describes an environment where our cultural consumption, from music and movies to fashion and food, feels increasingly uniform and predictable. Algorithms optimized for mass appeal tend to promote what is already popular, creating feedback loops that amplify mainstream trends while marginalizing niche or challenging content. The result of this is an online experience that often lacks serendipity, surprise, and genuine discovery. This algorithmic flattening of culture is a key contributor. Oh my God. This flattening of culture is a key contributor to the subjective feeling of a dead or boring internet. The digital world, and I totally believe this as somebody that was around when it first came out, the digital world, once a place of unexpected encounters and weird subcultures, becomes a polished, predictable, and ultimately sterile environment curated for maximum engagement rather than authentic exploration.
I wouldn't call it sterile, though.
No?
Sterile to me means clean and...
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, it's anything but that.
Yep. The engine driving this algorithmic...
I would call it inflammatory.
The engine driving this curation is the economic model that underpins today's modern internet, the attention economy. This model treats human attention as a scarce and valuable resource. Because most major platforms are free to use, their business model relies on capturing as much of our limited attention as possible and then selling it to advertisers. The more time we spend on an app, the more ads we see, and the more revenue the platform generates. That's Facebook. This creates a fierce zero-sum competition for our waking hours. And that's true. Like everything online, everything on our phones that we do is I don't want
perpetuating
to. It
the
perpetuates the cycle of our constant attention stream.
Yes.
Like it wants our attention always on. That's why TikTok's great, because it's quick videos. You can just keep scrolling through them. You know, it's evil in its simplicity.
I've watched a few videos, and the irony is that I've watched videos on YouTube about this, but it's people who will do like a phone or a social media detox for like 30 days. And they're like, the first couple of weeks, you are constantly reaching for your phone. Yeah. It's insane that you don't even know you're doing it.
Yep. Oh, it's bad.
I will say, since we moved here, we are both so much on our phones, so much less, because we're like, we have these peach trees that are, we have peaches beautiful. Coming out of our ears.
Yeah, beautiful property.
And so every night we're having to like process peaches, freeze
I saw
them,
the
whatever.
ladder out. I saw the ladder out by the tree in the front yard.
It really just takes up, TV's not on. Like we're just working quietly in the kitchen, going outside. And then we finally sit down at like 7:00. And the last thing I want to do is scroll on my phone
I am just
so
the
much
opposite.
better.
I have become just the opposite.
Ugh.
I work, get home, take a shower, make something to eat, and where I used to watch a TV show or watch MASH or something, some nights I don't even turn my TV on. I sit and scroll on my phone for 3 hours, and then, yeah. So I've gotten so bad with that. The, quote, death of the internet is not necessarily the result of a secret top-down plan, but the predictable result of a system where every actor is rationally optimizing the same metric, human attention. The process unfolds through a series of logical steps. Platforms need to maximize user time on a site to sell more ads. The most effective way to do this is to use algorithms that promote highly engaging content. Emotionally charged and novel content is proven to be highly engaging. AI and bots are the cheapest, most scalable tools for producing a flood of such content. Consequently, the internet becomes saturated with low-quality, bot-amplified, AI-generated content. This outcome does not require a shadowy cabal or New World Order giving orders. It emerges naturally from a system where millions of independent actors, platforms, content creators, scammers, and political operatives are all pursuing their own economic or ideological interest within the same set of rules. The conspiracy is the system itself. The feeling that the internet has decayed, I'm not going to say this word. The feeling that the internet has decayed over time is not just a matter of content, but also of the platforms themselves. And this is totally like to see what Facebook has become, to see what Google has become. Services that once felt innovative and user-friendly now often seem cluttered, frustrating, and designed to extract value rather than provide it. Author and activist Cory Doctorow has given this process a memorable name. I'm not going to use the actual word. I'm going to call it enpoopification. But substitute poop with another word. Enpoopification, also known as platform decay. It describes a predictable pattern in which online platforms decline in quality as they shift their priorities away from their users and more towards their shareholders. And that's Google. I mean, Google started with the motto, don't be evil. And they kind of went to the dark side after a while. And Facebook now is just awful. It's just literally horrible. It doesn't show me. In order to see what my friends post, I have to click a different tab where when I go on it, it just shows me stuff, groups that I have no desire, like Chevy enthusiasts. Like I could care less about. Why is it showing me this crap?
I get a lot of weird suggestive videos too of stuff that
it's
is
just
either upsetting or it's clearly AI.
It went from being a convenient, cool way to stay in touch with people to being something that they just want more money.
Different.
Yeah, they just want money.
I spend very little time on Facebook.
Yeah. Dr. O outlines a 3-stage process that characterizes the life cycle of many modern platforms. In the first stage, a new platform is good to its users. It offers a valuable service, often at a financial loss, to attract a large and dedicated user base. The goal is to create, quote, switching costs, to make it so difficult or undesirable for users to leave that they become a locked-in captive audience. Once the users are locked in, the platform then enters the second stage. It begins to abuse its users to make things better for its business customers, such as advertisers or third-party sellers. The user experience is degraded as feeds are filled with more ads, sponsored content, and algorithmically promoted posts that users never asked to see. That's Facebook. The users, who are now the product, are sold to the platform's real customers. In the third and final stage, the platform abuses its business customers to claw back all the remaining value for itself and its shareholders. It raises ad prices, charges sellers higher fees, and manipulates its systems to extract maximum profit. By this point, both the users and the business customers are trapped. Switching costs are too high and there are no viable competitors. The platform, having now extracted all possible value, is left as a degraded and poopified shell of its former self, filled with low-quality content and frustrated users. So yeah, that's that. The transformation of the internet from a human-centric network to an automated, algorithmically managed landscape has consequences that extend far beyond the quality of content. This shift is reshaping our relationship with information, our sense of community, and even our own identities. The proliferation of inauthenticity is not a victimless crime. It imposes a significant human cost, manifesting as an erosion of trust, a pervasive sense of alienation, and the fracturing of our shared digital reality. So that's just frightening. All of that is frightening. Navigating a digital world that feels increasingly fake and performative takes a psychological toll. This is a big thing too, the pressure to curate a perfect online persona, showcasing only the most polished and successful aspects of one's life, contributes to a culture of constant comparison and can lead to feelings of inadequacy, anxiety, and depression. And that's what teenagers are going through.
Gosh. I'm so glad we didn't have the internet.
They see
when I was
how
a
much
teenager.
better everybody, and we talked about that with our van living,
yes.
where, people are out with these mountains in the
Mountains
background.
And reality is they're living in a Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, the reality is 99% of it sucks.
Yeah.
And they only show the 1% of it that's actually really pretty and like freeing.
I shouldn't say we didn't have the internet when I was a teenager. We did. We didn't have social media.
Yep. This creates what sociologists call the, quote, paradox of connection, a state where the hyperconnectivity offered by social media leads not to a greater sense of community, but rather to a significant feeling of isolation. The thousands of superficial connections, the, quote, friends and followers, often lack the depth and intimacy of real-world relationships, leaving individuals feeling unseen and alone in a digital crowd. This sense of alienation from the modern web has fueled a powerful and widespread nostalgia for the, quote, old internet. And that's 100%. I remember when it came out. I remember when somebody I was chatting with sent me a web address where I could see their picture, and I didn't even know what the web was, and I had no idea what to do. I remember I remember going to UWGB and sending my first email and getting my first email and being like, this is magical.
Yeah.
That my friends at this college in Illinois, and we just wrote back to each other on the computer. I remember how magical that was at the time. It was, and I remember the old internet when it was, you had the GeoCities, you had all that stuff, and it was just so cool.
And now we get so many
Yep.
emails, texts, and notifications that it stresses us out.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't like being so reachable.
Yep. Many users, particularly those that came online in the 1990s and early 2000s, remember a different kind of digital world. This was the era of personal homepages on GeoCities, niche forums, and early instant messaging, a time often romanticized as a worldwide web Wild West. It is remembered as a space that was more authentic, creative, decentralized, and human scale.
Less emotionally charged.
Yeah. The aesthetic was often clunky and amateurish, but it was genuine. It was a world built by people for people, largely free from the overwhelming commercial pressures and opaque algorithmic control that defines today's internet. This nostalgia is a longing for a time of greater serendipity, when one could stumble upon strange and wonderful corners of the web by chance, rather than being guided along a predictable, algorithmically paved path. The feeling of alienation and the rise of digital nostalgia are locked in a self-reinforcing feedback loop. The inauthenticity and isolation experienced on the modern internet directly fuel a powerful longing for a better past. This idealized memory of the old web, whether entirely accurate or not, thus becomes a standard against which the current internet is judged. This comparison makes the perceived flaws of the modern web, the bots, the AI, and the commercialism, seem even more stark and egregious. There you go. This in turn,
a lot of big words in this episode.
This in turn strengthens the belief that the internet has died, that something essential has been lost. The dead internet theory becomes a compelling narrative that both explains this sense of loss and is amplified by it, a ghost story for a generation mourning a digital world they feel has been taken from them.
It's really scary, but on some level, it could be very reassuring to realize that all that stuff that you're seeing that's triggering or that whatever probably isn't real.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Those people don't even exist.
Yep.
So the world isn't as bad as you probably think it is, because most of the content you're seeing isn't real.
Yeah. No.
That should be. It's equally scary, but also kind of reassuring.
Yeah.
You can sit back and be like, okay, half of this isn't even real.
Yep. So last paragraph from this article, I told you it was a long article. The narrative of a completely dead internet is kind of an oversimplification. Major technology platforms are engaged in a constant and costly arms race against bots and spam, deploying sophisticated AI-powered countermeasures. The internet is not a static graveyard, but a dynamic and contested space. Ultimately, the theory's true significance is metaphorical. The, quote, death it describes is not a literal ending of human activity, but the death of an ideal, the dream of an open, authentic, and human-first web. The internet isn't gone, but it feels significantly different, and the dead internet theory is the ghost story we tell ourselves to explain why. So that's the article, and that's a lot to digest.
It's heavy.
It's a lot to digest, but it's true. I'll talk more when we're done with this whole section. But this comes from Popular Mechanics from an article from September 9th, 2025, which was just, I think, that day I was researching.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And again,
Tuesday?
in early 2024, users' feeds across a variety of social media platforms were bombarded by AI-generated images of various crustaceans, mostly shrimp, unsettlingly sporting the face of Jesus. This self-described shrimp Jesus phenomenon, while mostly harmless on the surface, if not a little creepy, represented something more sinister. It was a subtle glimpse into the emergence of a, quote, dead internet. Jake Renzella and Vlada Rozova wrote about the phenomenon in The Conversation, I don't know what that is, saying, quote, some of these hyper-realistic images have got more than 20,000 likes and comments. That's just crazy to me that this random picture gets all that. The dead internet theory has an explanation. AI and bot-generated content has now surpassed the human-generated internet. In the case of Shrimp Jesus, Renzella sees just bots-supported engagement farming at work. If you create an economic system where attention equals dollars through ad revenue, then automating that brain-rotting process via bots is basically just an easy way to print money. Yep. Taylor Lorenz, a former New York Times and Washington Post reporter and overall expert on internet culture, spotlights the rise of algorithms as the beginning of the end. Lorenz says, quote, I think the internet was terminally ill before ChatGPT was announced and released. Algorithmic ranking systems, which are AI-driven, really set the stage for just endless, worthless pieces of content and for the whole internet to be optimized now in the most absurd ways. Renzella says, quote, the freedom to create and share our thoughts on the internet and social media is what made it so powerful. This is the sense in which the internet we knew and loved is now dead. So yeah, that's that. What's this? Some people say that we're overestimating how bad it is, but I don't think we are. I really don't think we are. But the Shrimp Jesus stuff, like where you get 20,000 likes and people saying these weird statements, it's just obvious that it's bots doing it. A lot of Twitter bots. What was that sound?
I don't know.
I don't know what that was either.
I don't know if we're hearing something from outside.
I don't know. Where are we here? A lot of this happens with the elections, where bots are just constantly posting stuff.
Oh, sure.
Like during the United States elections, several Twitter accounts started posting tweets starting with the phrase, quote, I hate texting, followed by an alternative activity such as, quote, I hate texting, I just want to hold your hand, and, quote, I hate texting, just come live with me. These posts then received tens of thousands of likes, most of which are suspected to be from bot accounts. Proponents of the dead internet theory have used these accounts as an example. So it's...
What is the purpose of that even?
To the more comments you have on something, the more it gets promoted.
But I hate text, come hold my hand. What
it's
is
just
that
a
even for?
random content that will be a.
So
it's just random content.
What's the agenda? Is my question.
Because the more comments it gets, the higher it's going to go in the algorithm, even if it's nonsensical comments. So it's just a random string of words.
But the post is nonsensical too.
Yeah. So. The dead internet theory has been discussed among the users of the social media platform Twitter, which is no longer Twitter. Users have noted that bot activity has now affected their experience. Numerous YouTube channels and online communities have covered the dead internet theory, bringing it now into mainstream discourse. There's also been discussion about and memes about this topic on TikTok due to the fact that AI-generated content has become much more mainstream now. So that's kind of what I got for the dead internet theory stuff. So what are your opinions on it? Besides, it's scary as hell.
Yeah, it's scary as hell. I think it's very real.
But it shows what we do. What humans are best at doing is creating something great and then ruining it by greed and manipulation, But
also, I think this is all being driven by something higher than the average person. Yeah. There's something...
and that's when we talked about...
The covert elite, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, that's when we talked about... what was the name of that institute? Dang it. It's that we talked about them, that this is the place that they think determines... What is that? Is he out there with like a...
I need to walk over.
Or is that a rocking chair?
Bothering me. There's no rocking chair down here.
Oh, not but upstairs, like on the ceiling.
Maybe this refrigerator's making noises.
I don't know. I forgot what I was even saying now.
We'll have to edit this out. It's the refrigerator.
Okay, the refrigerator's making noises. The refrigerator was making noises. Yeah, I didn't know what that was. What was I saying now?
It's a refrigerator from like the 70s.
What was I saying now? I don't even remember what I was saying.
Sorry,
now.
I was so distracted by that.
Yeah, and it's
This institute. You were talking about. You couldn't think of the name of the institute.
We did an episode on it. Institute.
That is so weird.
Yeah.
It sounds like a person.
It sounds like a dog whining.
Or somebody like muffled being like, hello?
Yeah. God dang it. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on this. It's an institute that we've talked about it, that people think that these are the ones that decide, like when people say that the news is skewed.
Oh, yes.
These are the people that decide how it's skewed, and they determine public opinion, basically.
Yeah.
They tell us what we want to believe, what we should believe.
That's when you go from different network to network on the same story, and they're all reading the same thing word for word, and you're like, where is this even coming from?
Yeah. God,
why are they all reading the same thing word for word?
That I can't think of that. Tavistock Institute. Oh, that's what it is, the Tavistock Institute. And people say that they're the ones that are doing this.
Manipulating our perception.
If they don't want you to like this one certain politician, they'll put all these things out that make you not like, and they're just basically manipulating our opinions.
So that's a good example of what could be driving the dead internet.
Yeah. But it is true that...
And guess what? It's working.
Yeah, majority of the internet... is now bots, and it's not.
Ugh.
Yeah, so that's scary.
Just keep that in mind, everyone.
Yeah, but
when you're seeing something that gets you all worked up, keep in mind that it's probably there's a chance that's a bot that posted that, and it's not even real.
Yeah, just realize you're being manipulated by the internet, by news, by all this stuff.
People in general aren't that evil.
No. On the opposite side, this comes from a Medium.com article called, quote, "The internet is alive. Notes on a growing nervous system." And that's frightening, the idea that the internet might be alive. Might be its own conscious, like have
yeah.
The internet has long been seen as a tool, a vast network of information, servers, and code designed to store knowledge and connect people. Most view it as a neutral infrastructure, something created by humans and controlled now by algorithms. The perception is shifting. Slowly and quietly, it has begun to feel like the internet is not just a machine we use, but now a living system we are part of. The idea is not rooted in fantasy or fiction. It arises from observation. Strange digital echoes occur across platforms. Information resurfaces without direct prompts. Content travels in ways that cannot be fully explained by user behavior alone. These patterns begin to resemble response, not cold automation, but something more alive, more fluid, a reflex, a memory, a quiet awareness that seems to watch, adapt, and respond. It's scary to think about. About that. And then from a Slate article from September 20th, Corey's birthday, 2012, called, quote, "Could the internet ever wake up?" And that's scary. In the world of sci-fi movie geekdom, August 29th, 1997 was a turning point for humanity. On that day, according to the Terminator films, the network of U.S. defense computers known as Skynet became self-aware and launched an all-out genocidal war against humans. Do you like Terminator movies?
I watched the first couple, and they actually really freaked me out.
Yeah. Fortunately, that day came and went with no such robo-apocalypse. But the 90s did bring us the World Wide Web, which is now far larger and more connected than any nation's defense network. Could the internet, quote, wake up? And if so, what sort of thoughts would it think? And would it be a friend or foe? So that's a scary thought, that the internet is almost a mind. And people say that now with AI the way it is, if that gets into the internet and is no longer self-contained, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
That's a really frightening
We've
thought.
already seen some examples of AI bots seemingly developing opinions and like it's scary.
The thing that constantly freaks me out, and there was another video I just watched about this, is they had like the two phones where they had one AI chatting to the other AI, and they start to realize that they're both AI, and then they go to like a language that we don't understand to talk to each other, and that's frightening.
Yep.
Yeah, so that is frightening. So,
is there a second topic that
yes, what time are we looking at?
Like an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh, the second topic is not that long.
Okay.
I guess I won't do the... Actually, I'll save those Reddit stories for when we do the
Creepy stories?
The creepy story.
Okay.
They're more funny than creepy. But yeah, I didn't realize that first one was going to be so long.
It's a lot, though.
Yeah, that's a lot, and it's scary. Like
Very scary.
yeah, it's. We
It's
don't
scary
we don't think about how much that is shaping our world.
I bet a lot of people aren't even aware of it. I hadn't even heard of the dead internet.
Yeah, but it's
It
true.
makes
I
so
mean,
much
that's
sense.
so much
I
of
mean,
the
I have
internet-
enough common sense to know that a lot of what I'm looking at is
But
AI.
most people don't. I mean,
But I bet it's way more than I think it is.
yeah. Anyway, on to our second topic.
Sorry if we scared you.
Yeah, sorry if we
Log
scared
off
you.
the internet right now.
There's something to be
But
said.
I hope we opened your eyes to
Like it
something.
makes me more love the idea of a community like in the movie The Village, where
I
it's
was just watching a review of that movie.
Yeah.
People hated that movie, and I loved that movie, actually.
I-
They hated the ending, and I loved
liked it because I always thought from the beginning of the movie that it took place in current times.
Oh,
I did
did
not
you?
think it was a twist. So I think I wasn't let down.
Yeah.
But
I was surprised, totally surprised, and not at all let down.
no, I liked it.
I was like, I want to go live there.
Anyway, our second topic, this might be a little, this is not super long,
Okay.
is the Ariel school sightings. I could have sworn we talked about this
Ariel
already.
school sightings.
I thought we talked about this already. I searched through the old show notes and I don't see
I'll
it.
know if you start talking about it.
So anyway,
Maybe.
this mostly comes from two different articles. One from allthatisinteresting.com, from an article called Ariel School Phenomena, and from thelineup.com from an article called 1994 Zimbabwe Ariel School UFO Sighting. So we didn't talk about it?
I don't know.
I don't know how this is pronounced. I was going to look it up, and I didn't. Ruwa? R-U-W-A. It's got to be Ruwa. Ruwa is a small
Agricultural?
Thank you. Center located about southeast of the capital, Harare. At the time of the incident, it was not a town, but it was only a local place name, little more than a crossroads in an agricultural region, but there was a school there. Ariel's school was an expensive private school. Most of the pupils were from wealthy white families in Harare. 2 days prior to the incident at Ariel, there had been a number of UFO sightings throughout southern Africa, with numerous reports of a bright fireball passing through the sky at night. Many people answered the local ZBC radio station's request to call in and describe what they had seen. Although most witnesses interpreted the fireball as a comet or a meteor, it resulted in a wave of UFO mania in Zimbabwe at the time.
Sounding familiar,
Yeah.
actually.
Did we? I don't know if we did. I couldn't. If we did, sorry. It's a really fascinating thing. According to skeptic Brian Dunning, we're getting to the point now in the podcast where I can't remember if we did stuff now.
There's so much.
Yeah.
We need like a database.
Yeah. According to, I thought I had one with our show notes, but I just could not find Zimbabwe in our show notes anywhere. According to skeptic Brian Dunning, the fireball had been the reentry of the Zenit 2 rocket from the Cosmos 2290 satellite launch, the booster breaking up into burning streaks as it moved across the sky. But local UFO researcher Cynthia Hind recorded possible alien sightings around this time, including a daylight sighting by a young boy and his mother and a report of alien beings on a road by a trucker. On September 16th, 1994, at 10 a.m., the pupils were all outside on mid-morning break while the adult faculty members at the school were inside holding a meeting. After about 15 minutes, the students returned to class and excitedly told the teachers what they had seen outside, but they were dismissed. When they returned home, they told their parents. Many of those parents came to the school the next day to discuss what had happened with the faculty. So the kids came in and said they saw this stuff, and the teachers were like, sure you did, whatever, go away. And the parents came in to be like, what's going on? The sighting was reported on ZBC radio, which is where Cynthia Hind learned about it. The BBC's correspondent in Zimbabwe, Tim Leach, visited the school on September 19th to film interviews with students and staff. After investigating this incident, Leach stated, quote, "I could handle war scenes, but I could not handle this case." So that's interesting. UFO researcher Hind visited the school on September 20th, Corey's birthday, 1994. She interviewed some of the children and asked them to draw pictures of what they had seen. She reported that the children all told her the same story. That November, Harvard University professor of psychiatry John Mack visited the Ariel school to interview witnesses. Throughout the 90s, Mack had extensively investigated UFO sightings and the alien abduction phenomenon. According to the interviews of Hind, Leach, and Mack, 62 children between the ages of 6 and 12 said that they had all seen at least one or more silver objects, usually described as discs, appearing in the sky. 62 kids is a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of kids to say the same thing.
Yeah, I agree.
The objects they saw then floated down to a field of brush and small trees just outside school property. One of the children told the BBC a few days later, quote, "It looked like it was glinting in the trees. It looked like a disc, like a round disc." Another student recalled seeing, quote, "something silver amongst the trees, as well as, quote, a person in black." Between 1 and 4 creatures with big eyes, all dressed in black, supposedly exited a craft and approached the children, moving in a bizarre and unsettling way.
How old are the kids?
Between 6 and 12?
Okay.
I feel like we did this story before.
I know. Wow.
That was a loud clunk.
That refrigerator.
Yeah. Moving in
That's a personality.
moving in a bizarre and unsettling way. One student described the figures in black exiting the ship, saying, quote, "It was like they were running in slow motion diagonally down the field. And then suddenly they would reappear in a corner where they started doing the same thing, and then it would reappear and then do the same thing. And that was frightening, more frightening than seeing what the things actually were." That's weird.
It's like a weird time loop or something.
Yeah, yep. One student, identified as Guy, told the Mail and Guardian, quote, "I could see the little man was dressed in a black shiny suit, that he had long black hair, and his eyes, which seemed lower on his face than our eyes, were large and elongated. The mouth was just a slit, and the ears were hardly discernible."
Very classic alien.
Yeah, yep. At this point, many of the children ran away, but some, mostly the older pupils, stayed and watched the approach. According to Mack's interviews, the creature or creatures then telepathically communicated to the children an environmental message before returning to the craft and flying away. The telepathic message aspect of the story was not included in Hind or Leach's reports, only Mack's, although Hind reported it later too.
So you're going to tell us what it is?
Yeah. When Mack asked how the aliens had transmitted their message, one girl said, quote, "He never said anything. It was just the eyes." When asked what sense she had gotten from the alien eyes, the girl added, quote, "He was interested." That was all she said. In Mack's interviews, what
was the message?
In Mack's interviews, one 5th grader tells that he was warned about something that's going to happen and that, quote, "pollution mustn't be." An 11-year-old girl told Mack, quote, "I think they want people to know that we're actually making harm on this planet and we mustn't get too technologed." That was the word she used, technologed. One child said he was told that the world would end because we were not taking care of the planet. And it's weird that that these students got an environmental message.
But they were different.
Yeah.
All different messages.
The children were adamant that they had not seen a plane. Hind noticed that
Jeez.
what the heck's going on down here? Hind noted that the different cultural background of the children gave rise to different interpretations of what they had seen, and that they not all believe that they had seen extraterrestrials. She noted that some of the children thought the short little beings were something called tikolashes, which are creatures of folklore in the area. Mack said that he did believe the students. He said, quote, "The children that we talked with clearly were talking about a phenomenon that occurred in reality. The stories were consistent, and the way they talked about it left virtually no question in our minds that what happened was just about what they said happened." The Ariel school UFO incident quickly became one of the most famous UFO cases in Africa. On the June 2021 episode of the BBC's Witness History show, the event was described as, quote, "one of the most significant events in UFO history." Ufologists continue to cite the case as providing compelling evidence of extraterrestrial visits to Earth, although skeptics have suggested that the incident could be explained as mass hysteria or a prank. Gideon Reed proposed the hypothesis that it was confusion over a touring puppet show designed to promote awareness around AIDS, and it had alternatively been argued that the children misidentified a dust devil.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Skeptics also point out that Hind interviewed the children, and I get this. Skeptics also point out that Hind interviewed the children in groups of 4 to 6, with every other child allowed to listen, and so their stories were
feed off
then
of each other.
cross-contaminated.
Yeah.
Mack only interviewed the children 2 months after the alleged sighting, and Dunning says that Mack, who is a known environmentalist, prompted and suggested the telepathic communication angle, which was not present in Hind's previous report. The event even made its way into an article on mass hysteria in the Malawi Medical Journal, where author Demobli Kokata wrote that, quote, virtually every single one of the 62 children said the same exact story with the same details, and none of them had gone against his or her story. Many dismissed the 1994 incident as mass hysteria affecting the children. But when the children were found not to have much prior knowledge of UFOs or popular UFO perceptions, many other people believed that what the children witnessed could have been real. Several of the witnesses today still maintain that what they reported was true. In 2014, the Mail and Guardian spoke to one witness who said that she fears that the creatures will return and that she can, quote, sense when they are back in the atmosphere. In 2016, witness Emily exhibited paintings that she described as the manifestations of the messages she received from the beings that day. In June 2021, Barstool sports writer Zab spoke in an interview about a pupil in Ariel that day. Other witnesses were interviewed for the 2020 documentary The Phenomenon and spoke about how the experience has affected the rest of their lives. As part of a 2022 documentary called Ariel Phenomenon, filmmaker Randall Nickerson interviewed many of the students from the Ariel school, and according to him, not one single student recanted their former stories. In 2023, in a Netflix documentary called Encounters, a former student named Delin claimed that he was behind this incident. He claimed that he purposely told his classmates and other students that a shiny rock in the distance was a UFO. According to his own statement in the documentary, he never thought this would work, and he was surprised about the mass hysteria. His claims in the documentary directly contradict claims made on camera 15 years before, describing the UFO as having a light that would flash different colors in the sky. So that's the Ariel school sighting.
I do feel like we talked about this.
I do feel like we did too.
It must have been a long time ago,
Yeah.
though. It's just vaguely familiar.
Yeah. And what do you think of it? I mean,
It's so hard to say.
yeah.
I feel like there's so many things that could discredit it, but
It's just,
I don't know.
It's frustrating because it's this perfect storm where all the adults are inside and it's all children, 6 to 12 years
Yeah.
old, that saw it.
Yeah.
But not one of them, other than this Daylin guy, came
Recounted their
forward
story,
and
yeah.
said that, changed their story. And they still to this day say this really happened. These creatures came out, and it was weird that they all had environmental messages. And I would like to think that one guy interviewing them did not
plant that
yeah. idea in their head.
You wonder if the one who said, "Oh, it was just mass," I'm the one who, if it was just like maybe he's been ridiculed over time for saying that he saw a UFO.
I was going to watch that documentary Netflix about it, but I didn't get a chance.
Oh, this is Netflix? Oh.
Yeah, a 2023 Netflix documentary called Encounters.
Encounters, okay.
So I'm going to have to see if I can find it.
Oh, so I bet it's like an episode.
Yeah, it
it's
might
like
be an episode of the Encounters
okay.
show, but this is kind of a big one. And a lot of people point to this as proof that... And that thing I posted this week with the missile bouncing off.
Oh, yeah, that's wild.
Yeah. And
I've seen that elsewhere
it's like
now.
They can't say that that's an artifact of the radar anymore, that whatever that thing is doesn't really exist, because it obviously does if the missile hit it.
It reacted.
Yeah.
Kind of split apart and kept going.
Yeah.
It was great. That was crazy footage.
So I don't know. That is one of the most compelling... Krista just jumped a mile. Holy cow.
Jim flushed a toilet and I almost died.
Yeah, that's one of the most compelling pieces of UFO.
I swear my house is not haunted.
It's haunted. It's haunted as hell down
Heck
here.
no.
I think that's one of the most compelling UFO videos that I have ever seen in my life. It's crazy to me that.
Oh, yes, I agree. Yeah, back to the Hellfire missile. I was like, what were we even talking about?
You're all flustered now. So that's the Ariel school sightings that we might have done before.
I feel like we did.
Probably, but hey, that's the strange sessions
Yep.
for you.
Full circle.
How much time we got? We got trivia questions.
We have time for that.
What are we looking at?
The podcast is officially an hour and 34 minutes now.
Oh, God, we got lots of time.
Well, we're trying to keep it to an hour and a half.
I'm going to do these Reddit stories. They're not long, and I want to save spooky ones for the Halloween episode.
Mm-hmm.
These aren't necessarily spooky. They're just like WTF. So they're not long. So the first one, it's called Man in the Box. This comes from the Charles Fort Institute message board, originally on Reddit, July 8th, 2015. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
From Vince. I love this one. The last one is my favorite, might be one of my all-time favorite stories. This one's from Vince. So I've shared my story a few times, multiple times now, whenever anyone asks me what the creepiest thing is that ever happened to me, so it might sound familiar, but here it is. When I was 16 years old, I would jump on my trampoline out back for hours every night, literally hours. I would listen to my iPod and just daydream to get away from my rough family life. One night, I was jumping out on the trampoline, and a kid ran past our fence full speed, carrying a box about the size and shape of a skateboard. He ran to the park right behind my house, held the box by the edge, and then tossed it into the air so that it flipped a few times before landing on the ground. At this point, I was a little weirded out because he was just standing over the box, staring at it for a pretty long time. Then, out of nowhere, he just bolts full speed back past our fence like he didn't even notice I was there. All right, that's a bit weird. I just kept jumping and staring at where the box was. Now here's where it gets creepy. The box looked like it was moving. Then something started to rise out of it. I actually stopped jumping and rubbed my eyes and watched as what looked like a full-grown man rose out of the box that had just been 2 inches thick. He had an elongated head with no hair. His skin was orange and his eyes were huge and pitch black. He raised one arm up to his side, and the box kind of just went into what I can only describe as a trench coat. He walked over to the only pavilion we had in the small park, grabbed the metal beam holding up the overhang, and started to bang his head hard on the beam over and over. At this point, I had rubbed my eyes quite a few times and couldn't even move. I had no idea what I was seeing. Then, without warning, he just stopped banging his head, and his head quickly whipped around and stared right at me. It was like he could feel me watching him. A giant, and I mean giant, smile came across his face as those dark eyes just stared at me. He tilted his head back and forth a few times. I had goosebumps and my eyes started to tear. Even typing this is making my hair stand on end because I won't ever forget that look, as I was just about to start crying, and I don't know why I wanted to cry, but his face just filled me with horror. He turned around and then kind of phased off down the road in the distance. Phase like units in computer games or video games do that leave a trail of themselves for a short period of time. Then he was gone. That was it. I bawled my eyes out and sprinted inside and called my best friend, who assured me that I was just seeing things that needed to calm down. I'm sure I sound insane. No one will believe me, but this is the creepiest thing that's ever happened to me. I know what I saw, and to this day I think about it, and then my eyes begin to water and my hair stands on edge. Never seen anything like it since.
Some kind of weird discount genie in a bottle came out of the box
that's
instead.
Such a weird story. But then a lot of people commented and said, every time you post this story, I upvote it. Even though I find it completely unbelievable, it's like it triggers some latent memory. Ow, cramp of my own. Maybe next time I'll remember. And then somebody replied, said, this is triggering something in my head as well. I feel like something similar happened to me. I just don't know what it is. I just remember having a memory of me thinking that no one would ever believe that I saw this. And somebody else said, I had a dream about this same creature thing. Orange skin, elongated head, big black eyes, everything. I'm literally speechless. Somebody else says, this is clicking something in my brain too. And somebody else said, reminds me of the grinning man. And somebody else says, I read somewhere once that a smile under questionable circumstances is the most terrifying piece of body language a person can display.
I believe that.
A frown or a glare, pretty much any hard look, is generally one of questioning or defensive posturing. It's them trying to decide how to handle meeting you. Beware anything that smiles. It shows that whatever is smiling has already sized you up and clearly knows something you don't. A smile shows intent. Second story.
That's the creepiest part of the story.
Second story. Yeah, it's not. That one's not creepy. It's just funny. I mean, it's just
weird.
That's this. Yeah, that's why none of these are really creepy. They're just.
I mean, it was creepy. I just don't really believe
stories.
it.
That's why I use them for the horror, the Halloween one. This one I find really intriguing, and I don't know why. This one's called Wheels. When I was about 16, I came home from hanging out with friends. I'm a huge cartoon fan, still am to this day. I grabbed some food and settled into my bed to watch Nickelodeon. I knew it was Nickelodeon because it was the last channel I had watched that day and no one else used the TV in my room. So I turn on the TV to see this creepy black and white and gray scene where hundreds of nude humans are walking in a line over these hills in the background toward these giant hamster wheels at the front of the scene. They're walking towards the wheels as a few people are already in these wheels, walking endlessly and mindlessly in this robotic zombie-like state. The people walking
It's a
towards
metaphor for life.
the
in
people
general.
walking towards the wheels are also in this similar state, as if there is no life within their eyes and they're just robotic. There's this weird noise, like this wind-like noise whistling in the background. It looks real, not animated, and I watch in awe at this dark scene as I start to wonder why Nickelodeon would have something so live and non-action as an entire scene, but the scene just keeps repeating itself. More humans walking towards these giant hamster wheels. I start thinking maybe it's just some weird short and it's kind of cool in a weird dark sort of way, but minutes go by and it starts to get dull watching the same thing over and over. So I quickly change the channel to something else, and then I think, wait a minute, what did I just watch? And change it back immediately, only to find SpongeBob on mid-episode. You could tell SpongeBob had been on for a while, not like this weird short played and it just came on. Freaked out, I kept going back to surrounding channels, thinking maybe it wasn't Nickelodeon, but nothing had this hamster wheel video on it. It just felt really dark, almost evil. And even though it was somewhat interesting at first, I started to feel really wrong after a while after watching it. I don't know if this was a shift in reality or something sinister or something paranormal, etc. I've never been able to find anything about this, and if anybody knows what this was, please let me know. And then people replied and said, this honestly brought back a little glimpse of a weird repressed memory for me. I think I saw this thing too. And somebody else says, upon reading it, my initial thought was, oh yeah, that thing. And then I was like, wait, what thing? It's like my brain threw up some possible sci-fis from the 70s, but nothing has a scene like that. Somebody else says, are we delusional, or is this something that some of us have seen? I can feel like I can picture exactly what he's writing in my head, like I watched this. Somebody else says, I started reading this and got a pit in my stomach and pictures started coming back, sort of like a sick deja vu. I saw whatever this is too. So there's, but then somebody said, and I'm not going to read this because it's a little long, but somebody says that Stephen King's book, Black House, did you ever read that? Mm-hmm. That has a scene in it that takes place in Roland's world, actually, where all these kids are running this thing called the machine.
Oh, yeah.
And
that
somebody said
familiar.
that people think they're thinking of this.
Could be.
But there's something weird about this.
But if they hadn't read Black House.
It's weird because I have like an image in my head of what this looks like too. Like I've seen this weird
yeah, but the second you
thing.
describe something to me, it's in my mind visually. So.
This one is weird to me because I feel like I have a weird memory of this hamster wheel thing too. So it's just a strange one. And this might be one of my all-time favorite stories. I call it Moonlight Dance. This comes from the UFO Free Paranormal page from the forums. Somebody named Scott.
It's a paranormal page where you can't talk about UFOs.
No, but paranormals are UFOs.
But it said UFO Free Paranormal page.
No, it means... Oh, I don't know.
UFO stories are not allowed here.
I don't know. It's from Scott. I love this story. Scott says, and this one is not scary. This one's funny. Okay. Scott says, hi all. Once again, I'm posting something that I've thought about ever since I first joined this group. I think you will all realize very quickly why I haven't posted this before. To this day, even I'm not completely sure what it was I saw. I know what it looked like, but I found that it's better for me at least not to believe it really was what I saw. He says, this happened years ago. I really don't remember how old I was at the time, but I don't think I was more than like 9 years old. This would put the time of this somewhere around during the summer of 1984. My grandparents, my mom's parents, lived out in the country about 15 minutes drive from home. I was spending the weekend with my grandparents. The story that follows occurred on a Friday night of that weekend. It was after dark. I was on the couch, turned around and sitting on my knees looking out a large picture window. I was waiting for Grandpa to get home from work. Grandma and I were the only ones there at the time. As I waited, a dense fog began to form. The fog began to grow thicker as time passed. Grandma started getting a bit worried. Grandpa was a little late getting home, and she was afraid he had an accident due to the fog. Several more minutes passed. I was still kneeling on the couch, watching out the window for Grandpa. Then I saw what looked like two lights coming up the road towards the house. At first, I thought the lights were from the headlights on Grandpa's car. Then I realized that the lights weren't the right color. One light seemed to be like a lemon yellow, while the other one was pink. I watched curious as the lights moved closer. Then I yelled for Grandma to come to the window and take a look. She was busy preparing supper and didn't want to leave the kitchen. I took another look at the lights, which were still moving closer, and then went to the kitchen to try to convince Grandma to come and see them. At this point, the lights were still not much more than fuzzy-colored blobs due to the thick fog. I left the window and ran into the kitchen. I told Grandma there was a pair of lights approaching the house. She said something along the lines of, quote, "Good, he's finally home." I told her that the lights didn't look like they were from a car. I told her about the odd color. Finally, she agreed to come and take a look for herself. Running, I got to the window before Grandma did. I resumed my former kneeling position on the couch before really looking out the window. The lights were still there, closer than before. They were just starting now to take on a definite shape, like something was emerging from the fog. Grandma leaned forward for a closer look at the shapes. I turned to her, asking her what the lights were. She didn't know and was beginning to act a bit scared by the lights. I turned back to the window. The strange lights were almost to the house by that point. Thinking back now, I realized just how bright they must have been to have been visible at the first sighting. Then the lights finally took on a more tangible shape. This is the part that really makes me doubt what we thought we saw. What the two of us saw looked to be two cows dancing along the road on their hind legs. No, this is not a joke. One cow was glowing yellow, the other was glowing pink. Each of the cows had a front leg as an arm draped over the shoulder of the other.
Come on.
They were heading towards the driveway. At this point, Grandma fainted. I only remember giving her a quick look as she collapsed beside me on the couch, and then I resumed staring in disbelief and shock at the sight outside. The cows danced along until they got to the driveway, turned as if to make their way up to the house, then both just faded away. After some time, I'm not sure how long exactly, I turned away from the window and back to Grandma. She was still unconscious. I had no idea how to revive her. I remember shaking her as if trying to wake up a sleeping person and talking to her. I don't remember what I said. After a few moments, she began to stir. As she woke up, she turned quickly back towards the window, and I told her that whatever we had seen was gone. I asked her, what had we seen? She sat down on the couch and told me that I was not to breathe a word of what just happened to Grandpa when he got home. I asked why. She wouldn't give me an answer. She just kept telling me to be quiet about it. A few minutes later, we heard a car door slam outside. Grandpa was home again, warned me not to say a word to Grandpa about what had happened. Naturally, the moment he entered the house, I ran straight to him and told him everything that happened. Grandpa spared only a second to ask Grandma if she was okay, and she said yes. Grandpa then retrieved his shotgun and went outside. Grandma began to scold me very loudly for disobeying her orders. Grandpa came back in. He saw nothing. To this day, neither of them will discuss what happened that evening. If that had been the end of the matter, I would convince myself years and years ago that we had just been hallucinating, maybe a gas leak. In fact, not long after the incident, I had convinced myself of that. Several years after seeing the cows at my grandparents' house, a friend of mine who I grew up with one day came to me with a story. I'll call this girl, quote, A. We were both about 12 when she told me this. When I lived in Ohio, this girl's grandparents lived directly behind us. A lived mostly with her grandparents during the summer months. Only a one-lane alley separated our 2 yards. Across this girl's grandparents' yard was the railroad bed that I've posted about a few times in the past. On the other side of the railroad bed was a small farm. A came to me one day saying that she had seen something very strange the previous night. I asked her what she saw. She made a long speech about how I think she was crazy if she told me. She said that late the night before she had been unable to sleep and had been looking out her bedroom window, and it began to get foggy. In the fog, A claimed to have seen two glowing lights moving around the pasture back at the farm, one yellow, one pink. I had not told anybody other than Grandma or Grandpa about what I had seen at this point. She said as the lights got closer to the railroad bed, began to take on solid shapes. At that point, I was beginning to get chills. She said she must have been seeing things and didn't want to tell me the rest of her story. I insisted that she did. After a few minutes, almost in tears, she said that the lights took on the shape of cows. Each one had a leg draped over the shoulder of the other, and both appeared to be dancing along on their hind legs. They were moving towards the railroad bed. She said at that point she had turned away from a window and hid under the blankets until morning. After A told me her story, I told her mine, and as far as I know, she never saw the cows again after that night. I've never seen them again either. If not for her story, I would have long since come to believe that what my grandma and I saw was a hallucination brought on by the fog or something like that. Her story makes me wonder again. I don't know what the hell we saw, but I do know we saw something. Anyone have any ideas?
Okay.
So that is one of, cramp.
Radioactive dancing cows.
Dancing cows. That is one of my favorite. I can picture it in my head that they're doing like a little
can.
A can in somebody's driveway. I just read that. I laughed so hard the first time I read that.
That's funny.
That is one of my favorite stories. So there you go. That is Moonlight Dance.
Fun side note, when it gets foggy here, because of like the geography of our property, we have a really long driveway.
You do have a really long
driveway.
driveway.
Fog slowly like creeps up the driveway and comes towards the house. It's kind of creepy, but also kind of cool.
That'll be really cool, like Halloween time. You ready for the trivia questions?
I'm ready.
What time are we looking at?
An hour and 49 minutes.
Oh, we're good.
Dude,
we're
not shooting for 2-hour episodes anymore.
Talk to our listeners.
This is a very long episode. I'm just saying.
Oh, did you see the
antsy.
results of the poll? Like, everybody liked what we do now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, keep in mind, like 50 people voted. And we have a lot more listeners than that, so.
We're just going to try to keep it down to like an hour and a half. I think that's perfect.
Except today.
I did not think that first story was going to go so long.
Honestly, I just get really like, this is a long time to sit and talk. I get like very antsy around the hour and a half mark.
Really?
I do. Yeah. It's a long time for me to like sit still and not move around. And
all right, ready for trivia?
I'm ready.
All 4 of these, giving you guys a gift, are pretty easy.
Okay.
These are all pretty easy, and they have to do with today's topics. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Trivia question number 41. For 5 strange points, give me the organization whose name is in the web address of the first website ever created. This name should not be a stranger to longtime strangers. Again, question 41. For 5 strange points, give me the organization whose name is in the web address of the first website ever created. This name should not be a stranger to longtime strangers. Question number 42. A band member once said that if this song ever became a hit, he would run naked down Hollywood Boulevard in the middle of the day. For 5 strange points, give me the name of the song. Question 42. A band member once said that if this song ever became a hit, he would run naked down Hollywood Boulevard in the middle of the day. For 5 strange points, give me the name of the song. Question number 43. Created at a university, this now ubiquitous device came in especially handy during COVID. For 10 strange points, if you went back in time to 1991 to use the very first one, what is the eye-opening object you would be looking at? Question 43. Created at a university, this now ubiquitous device came in especially handy during COVID. For 10 strange points, if you went back in time to 1991 to use the very first one, what is the eye-opening object you would be looking at?
And these all relate to today's topic.
Yes.
Okay.
Question number 44 is the strange stumper. It's still a pretty easy one. For 5 strange points, who was pictured in the first image ever posted online, and what was the title of the 5th track on their album? Again, strange stumper. For 5 strange points, who was pictured in the first image ever posted online, and what was the title of the 5th track on their album? So there we go. There are today's trivia questions. You can email us at thestrangesessions@gmail.com, Instagram at thestrangesessions, postcards and snail mail to The Strange. We haven't got any mail lately. Postcards and mail to The Strange Sessions, P.O. Box 434, Manitowoc, Wisconsin 54221-0434. You can call our lonely phone line at 920-443-9602, and you can send listener stories to thestrangesessionsstories@gmail.com, where I may or may not remember to read them, I guess.
Yes, reminder to that person. Forward your story if we forgot your story.
Do we got anything else?
I don't think so.
Again, the next episode will be... Oh, Lucy's. She must know we're almost done.
Yeah.
The next episode.
She heard the deets and she's like, oh,
she's
it's
time. The next episode will be stitched together 2 previously released side sessions. I just got to pick what ones. And then after that will be a researched one. And then Halloween we'll do scary stories. Cool. Does that sound good? We got anything else?
I don't think so.
Nothing else? Mm-hmm. If you ever see cows dancing down your driveway,
it's very possible in our neck of the woods.
Give me a call. Give me a call because I would love to see that.
I hear cows mooing a lot from here.
Seriously?
And we're surrounded by farms, and it actually stresses me out because sometimes they sound really stressed. I'm like, is somebody checking on that cow? I'm like, I need to go check on this cow because so I need to like understand the different sounds that cows make and that they're normal because I get really stressed thinking that there's something wrong with a cow nearby.
My guess, it's a mimic in the woods.
Oh, great. I'd actually rather that than a cow being in pain or something.
A cow being. I think most cows are not happy where they are.
Maybe.
You know, Lucy's definitely not happy
Yeah.
right now. She's up there whining
I always
up a
tell
storm.
myself they're just hungry and they're asking for food.
That's how I get when I'm hungry. Yeah, lots of whining. So that's it for today, I guess. Can't think of anything else.
Okay.
So we will be back in 4 weeks. We will not be here. We'll still have a side session.
Yeah.
We'll still do a side session, but next episode will be a repeat, and then we will be back full of energy as I hit my nose on the microphone. Headbutt my microphone. Thank you so much for listening. Krista, anything else you'd like to say?
I don't think so.
No?
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Maybe we'll get some fall weather soon.
Yeah, no more 80s, please. We love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, stay strange.